Hey everyone, we're Team 17 and today we're here discussing importance of a topic you're probably pretty familiar with, networking. Now, some of you may see networking as a favorite pastime, but more likely than not, you see it simply as a necessary evil. Now, whether you're in the former group or the latter group, we can still all agree that networking is necessary, as well as crucial to reach our long-term goals in both our career as well as our life in general. During this presentation, we will discuss 6 key techniques we have identified to get the most out of your networking efforts. And then Katie will follow up with the benefits of networking. So the first of these 6 techniques is to build genuine personal connections. Sometimes when networking, it can be tempting to just see what you can get out of the person in front of you. But when discussing with my teammates, we each found that our most impactful networking experiences came when we built genuine relationships with the person. For me, this came when I graduated undergrad and was looking for a job. I was deep in the recruiting mindset and often found myself in elevator pitches or just presenting myself to the person in front of me. Though weirdly, it wasn't until I was at a concert and began talking with a friend of a friend of a friend and just talking normally that I found that he didn't realize that my engineering background actually resonated with the company he worked for. With that, he was able to set up a connection with a department and his company's boss. And by the end of the week, I was meeting with him. And then the following week, I had a job. So with that, I found that instead of just presenting myself and what I can get out of the guy in front of me, by just letting him talk and get to know him better, opportunities present themselves that otherwise wouldn't have been there. With that, I'll turn to Sudha to discuss the next technique of networking.
Research attendees and come prepared with questions. The best impressions are the ones that appear effortless. Approaching others too aggressively and not paying proper attention to the people and conversations around you can have a negative effect. For example, when I schedule coffee chats with people, I make sure to research them and find something we have in common, like an alma mater. I also make sure to be prepared with questions so that I can learn about others and hold mutually interesting conversations. It also makes it easy to share what you want to about yourself or your business when it's appropriate. Next, we'll talk to Frank so you can learn how to make new connections.
Okay, for the third networking technique, we'll be talking about how to be helpful within your network. Networking is a powerful way to build business connections and to add value within both new and existing networks. At all times, you want to be authentic, ask questions, and start every conversation hoping to learn. How can I help? Or how can I be of value to others? Something as simple as offering to make helpful introductions goes a long way in leaving a positive impression and will often lead to long-term relationships. Remember that the true value of networking is not greed, but rather generosity. The more you give, the more you get. Moving on to the fourth networking technique, which is equally important, don't have a set agenda. Networking is about developing relationships that are going to be mutually beneficial. So try your very best not to sell, at least from the beginning. You're not there to do business. You're there to meet valuable contacts and to exchange information. Your agenda should be to talk to a set number of people, and the objective is to ultimately get their business cards, which could potentially lead to future business opportunities. Networking is just but the first step in a long dance. So avoid sales pitches or business propositions, and you'll get the true value out of your networking opportunities. Next, I'll invite James to talk about how to be a better listener.
Tip number 5, be an active listener. One of the surest ways to make a poor impression is to make others feel unheard. Even when we don't mean to, if we focus only on being understood and not understanding others, we can turn people off. And that works against our goal of expanding our network. Instead, listen when you join a conversation and show that you are listening. When you first join a small group, take a few moments to get a feel for the current conversation and the players in the current conversation. And then when you speak, make a comment that shows that you are listening and that is a meaningful contribution to the conversation. Kyle displayed this well in his story in first listening to what the other man had to say about his company and then making a connection from Kyle's personal experience to the needs of the company. Tip number 6, follow up. Relationships take work. Specifically, they take follow through and follow up. So soon after meeting someone, ideally the next day, either email, phone, or where appropriate, text them, remind them of the conversation you all had, and the idea that you share an idea of how you all could further the relationship. We'll turn to Katie for the benefits of networking.
Yeah, thank you, James. So there are countless benefits of networking, and I'm going to touch on two of the bigger ones right now. So number one is going to be that networking serves as an avenue for newer opportunities. So because networking makes you more visible, it also can open new doors, from getting approached by recruiters about job opportunities to getting noticed by people who would like to work with you, perhaps on a freelance basis. You never know when an opportunity that can advance your career will present itself. It's important to understand that opportunities not only present themselves in the form of new jobs, but they can also mean meeting an important person in the industry that can change the course of your career and maybe open your eyes to something that you never knew existed. Networking can also serve as a means for exchanging fresh ideas. So most of us try to stay up to date with changes in our fields, either through continuing our education or by reading up on industry news. But there's a wealth of knowledge out there that you can access by simply talking to other professionals in your industry. Being on the receiving end of these fresh ideas allows you to introduce new practices in your workplace and impress your boss, but more importantly, it helps you remain on top of trends and developments in the industry. So this is not just healthy for the status of your employment, but it's also a great first step in your own professional growth and development. So in conclusion, networking is a valuable tool that we should all be cognizant of developing. Building professional connections can truly alter the course of your career, and following the steps we noted could alter your career track, expand your industry knowledge, and allow you to help others. Thank you.